Revenge films.
I got married when I was 35. He was 5 years younger than me. We moved a lot due to his job. We were always busy. I wanted kids, but my husband told me to wait a few years because having kids would make things more difficult when we moved. He told me to wait at least 5 years for kids. But 5 years from now, I'll be 39. Lots of people have babies in their late 30s, but still, I was worried. 2 years went by. We were still moving around a lot. I wanted to work too, but my husband wouldn't let me. Growing up, his parents weren't around. They were always out working. That's why he wanted me to stay home and be there for him. I told him I wanted kids because I was all alone in the house during the day. But he said no because we were just too busy. I'll take care of the baby. I'll do everything around the house. Please. But he just said,
I don't trust you. I can't trust women.
Then, time went by. The 5-year wait was finally over. Finally! I can have kids! But then, I got ill. I was diagnosed with fibroid. It was a common disease that 1 out of every 4 women got. In most cases, you didn't need surgery or anything, but I was one of the unlucky ones. During my last period, I felt a sharp pain in my stomach. It was unlike anything I felt before. I passed out in the grocery store and got rushed to the hospital. There, the doctors diagnosed me with fibrosis, and it looked pretty serious. The doctor was surprised that it took this long for me to realize. I always felt pain when I had my period, but this time was different. I've never felt anything like it before. Then, the doctor said,
I think we should remove the uterus. In your case, the fibrosis is growing rapidly. Considering the risks, I think removing the uterus is our best option.
I told him I wanted to think about it because I still wanted kids. But after that, I was in constant pain even when I wasn't having my period. Sometimes I couldn't even stand up, and there was no medication for it either. When my husband was home, he took me to the hospital, but he was barely home, so I usually called a cab. But soon, I couldn't even walk by myself, so I started calling 911. Sometimes I passed out before the ambulance arrived and woke up in the hospital. It was tough. My husband said to me,
Maybe you should get the operation.
But if we do that, we'll never have kids. I could still have babies. I'll remove my uterus after that.
But you're in so much pain. Plus, they say fibrosis decreases the chances of getting pregnant, so... And you're getting pretty old, too. Plus, every time you call 911, they call me at work and, well, it can get pretty annoying. And I can barely sleep these days because you always wake me up in the middle of the night. Please, I'm losing my mind here. Get the operation and let's move on. If not, I can't be with you anymore.
You mean you want a divorce?
If you don't get the operation, then... yeah.
He did have a point. He could barely sleep because of me, but he still had to go to work the next morning. And, like he said, there was no guarantee that I'd get pregnant in the next few months. After much thought, I decided to get the operation. It was a tough decision, but I had no choice. I didn't want a divorce. My husband was happy that I got the operation, but even after the operation, he didn't let me get a job. I just stayed home all day long. Then, 6 months later...
I want a divorce.
What? Why?
I realized that I wanted kids. But you'll never be able to have kids, so I'm getting old, too. I want a kid. I want to raise a family.
But you said you'd stay if I got the operation!
That's not what I said. And you made the decision yourself. At least you don't have to worry about your illness anymore.
The next day, his lawyer showed up at the house. I couldn't understand most of the things he was saying to me. What I did understand was that he agreed to pay me $10,000 in damages. But since this was my fault, I couldn't force him to withdraw the request for divorce. I went to the city office for consultation. The guy there said that if the husband wants kids but the wife can't have any, it was hard to fight it. He also told me that $10,000 for damages was pretty normal. I had no idea what to do anymore. I was 38 without a job. He ended up paying me $20,000 out of pity and left me. We barely had any savings because we were always moving around and stuff. After the divorce, I was pretty depressed. But one day, my friend invited me to a matchmaking party, and I met someone. He couldn't have kids either. He had a condition called azoospermia. He couldn't produce any sperm. Turns out his wife left him because of it. We started dating and got married. His parents were really happy for us too. We don't care about grandkids as long as you two are happy. They even bought us a nice apartment for us to live in.
If you want to work, I'll help you out with the housework. If you want to be a housewife, that's fine too. It's your call.
So I decided to get a job. My first marriage was a mess. I had no idea how good it felt to be with someone who truly loved you. 4 years after the divorce, I ran into an old friend who also knew my ex-husband. She knew about what happened between us. She told me he got remarried right after the divorce. Turns out he was having an affair all along. He met her right after we got married. He wanted to leave me and be with her, but didn't want to pay a lot for damages. That's why he waited until I was too old to have kids to get a divorce. He never wanted kids with me. No wonder he was so insistent about getting the operation when I was sick. He just wanted all of this to be over with. But he still couldn't have kids with his new wife. After some tests, he found out that there was something wrong with his sperm. Low sperm count. They both started infertility treatment, but his wife eventually gave up. Rumor has it that she's about to leave him. Oh well, too bad for them. I'm still upset about what happened to my body, but life goes on, I guess. I'm just glad he's out of my life.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.